Hey, welcome back to BBPN. I'm your host, Cadet Tank, and yes, we have round two coverage for you guys. Yes, round two. And some may have better coverage than others because, some teams went farther. I think Zinch is already on MD3, pushing for 4. So, yeah, shit's flying by. That's what happens when you have a Labor Day weekend. Anyway, let's get this shit on the road. I think we have Panda first from the Nurgle division.
Flesh, bone, and bile. How delicious.
Good morning, ghouls and goblins. Looks like we finally moved on up to round 2. Let's take a look at the wonderful Nurgle division, who landed there and what their teams look like. So, we have Arcade Blazes Orcs, Werecasters Ghastly Kimry, Hikaru's Dwarfs that are quite evil, Cord's Pretty Kittens, the Amazons, Sancho and his Kislev that were vying for first, Feudal Effort, and I never say his name right, so we'll call them the Bretts. One of the other Norse coaches, Lando, who came out of the Larry division, and Scambammer's Dark Elves. So we have a pretty big spread on TV here. So from 1170 looks like the lowest to 1630 on Arcade's team. Yeah, decent spread. Let's just jump into the teams and see what's happening. So we see Troll right off the bat. 81 Black Orc is not that big of a deal. And he went Killer Orcs, it looks like. So Mighty Blow, Mighty Blow, Mighty Blow, Mighty Blow. And finally started picking up Guard, finally. A level 4 Black Orc is a bit of a rarity, as we're only on game 12, I think, for this division. So he's either been murdering a lot of people or he's caught a lot of MVPs. We're at 12 players, which is fine for the AV9. 4 rerolls is a little heavy for my liking this late in. You could probably cut one and do perfectly fine with 3, as you already have built-in sure hands. You have all this block. That's really the only thing I see that I would even consider wrong. Not even really wrong, just something that could help you trim 60k worth of team value and not really have that much of an impact. He's got 1 cheerleader, 1 coach assist, so that's another 20k. He could actually trim down pretty far, down to 15 and change if he needed to. So yeah, those orcs look pretty mean, RK. We'll see what happens. Werecasters Kimry, they were vying for first place in most of round 1. Excuse me, I have some yelling going on from the other side of the cartel. HQ. Oh. Aren't BB pandas so endearing? Alright, so we got diving tackle on a Blitzraw. Okay, that'll do it. We got a Miss Next on Black Scorpion, or what is it? If it's a Miss Next, he's alright. Nope, looks like he's niggled, so not so good on an AV8 piece. We got Mighty Blow Guard on the High Overlord Tomb Guardian. And looks like he finally picked up another level. Okay, so we got 3 dirty players here. So I think we can all attest to what his game plan is. Foul, foul, and more foul. Looks like he got movement down. That's not that big of a deal. Well, movement 8 throw raw. Okay. And a blodge throw raw with kickoff return. This is a good looking Camry team. Tomb Guardians are a bit behind, but he's one cast away. He can get lucky against one of the 87 teams. He can probably level this guy up. And he'll be pretty gnarly. Sitting on 180k, so he could cycle. I'd probably get rid of this guy right here. Contributing 20k, and if he gets knocked down, he only moves dwarf speed. That's not going to be that good. Movement 4 also kind of limits where you're going to be able to foul from with your dirty player, so you might want to consider just keeping the 2 and cycling this guy. You could also cut the Niggler, but he does have Mighty Blow and he is leveled, so that's going to be the trade-off here. If you really want to spend the development time on him, or if you think a niggling injury is going to set you back too much. Those would be the 2 places I'd focus. 3 rerolls is perfectly fine. So, and you know, no apothecary, no assistance. He has 7 fan factor, so he's pretty on par for where he's at. And the team looks really good, Werecaster. So keep it up. You seem to know how to play these Kimry. Hikaru's Dwarfs. We covered them a few match days ago. Let's see where they're at. We got a Miss Next on a Troll Slayer. Yep, just a Miss Next on a Troll Slayer. AG down on a Longbeard is not that big of a deal, especially as he has Strength 4 and Guard. Diving Tackle on a Longbeard. I like the singular diving tackle on this guy. I believe Discum showcased it in his Game of the Weeks. It's done some work, and it's definitely annoyed a few of the dodgier coaches. AV down on a guard piece. I would cycle. From 9 to 8 is a pretty big deal, and going from 8 to 7 against the Mighty Blow team, he's gonna get hurt. It puts you at something at so if you need Mighty Blow, which means armor effectively 7, so you need an 8+. That's like what, 43%, maybe a little less to break. I would not keep this Longbeard around, even though he has guard. I know it's important. You have one that's about to level. I would cycle this guy out. That being said, I see there's a Death Roller here named Spike 2. I believe Spike 1 met his untimely end via Tasser and the Snow Troll. And I'm glad to see you're back up to the full kind of 13-player spread. So definitely cycle the Longbeard, man. That's the only deal. 4 fan factor. You have the Apothecary. You've got 3 rerolls. I think that's perfect for Dwarfs. You could even technically get away with 2, as you have a ton of built-in rerolls. And you could shave 50k off and get down into sub 1300 territory if you cycled out this Longbeard and then shaved a reroll. That being said, team looks fairly well developed, so good job, man. We'll see what you do with them. Goat Boy. Goat Boy, Goat Boy. That's 2 kills, 1 cup, not a sex thing, for those of you in Rio Vista. He has the counterpart to the Norse teams that are playing. I believe he was one of 2 Amazon teams this season, Steeler and him. Let's see what he's got. So, he's got Blodge on all the blitzers. Cool. Movement 8 blitzer is gnarly. Double tackle, I don't know if I agree with. I know the blitzers are kind of important. I probably would have taken something that contributes more to the overall team health. I think... yeah, I think the blitzers have normal strength access, which is correct. So... guard, I think, would have been more appropriate on one of these 2. But it is what it is. He did manage to pick up a single guard on a line woman, which I believe is a doubles, so that's good. Movement 8. We've seen a lot of movement 8. We're only a couple teams in, and there's 2 teams with a movement 6 piece that now have movement 8 and a pending level on the blodge thrower. This is nice. I like this. The team's developing a little bit slowly. I'm pretty sure he suffered some attrition through the first part of the season. But 8 fan factor, 3 rerolls, and an apothecary is a pretty sweet spot for the Amazons to be in. I think with 120k, he's gonna want to pick up a 12th player. He doesn't have anybody he needs to replace. So I think we're gonna end up going that route, and we'll see him sitting at 12 or possibly 13, depending on if he wants to go broke and have spares. No dirty line woman, which I don't think is swell. I understand the need for blodge, but most of the divisions have been fairly tackle heavy. I know he came out of... I think he actually stayed in the Nurgle division. Didn't he? Maybe. Who knows? Nobody knows. He's a mystery. Right, Cord? Just pretty kittens? Right? Alright. Team looks good, man. Get some spares in there. I think you're doing alright. You're already floating at a pretty trim TV, so you should be good to go. Sancho. Unnecessarily aggressive with the Kislev Circus. We have a bear. A bear. So, guard, diving catch, which I believe comes stock on the catcher. Block, wrestle, diving tackle. Blodge, sure hands. So this is a fairly well-scaled Kislev team. They've kind of bloated out a little bit with these 2 guard doubles. But, yeah. Guard is kind of a necessity with how bash heavy the leagues typically run. I agree with the pickups, but it kind of inflates you a little bit. The strength up on the blitzer is really gnarly. And that's a hard call, right, on the first skill, because you have an idea of where you want him to go, and strength up kind of pushes him off in his own direction. That being said, team looks good. I like the sure hands catcher up here and the replacement down here. So you've got some spares. You have no money and 11 players, so you're going to want to be careful and try to limit those blocks against your guys. 4 rerolls was probably needed earlier on. Now that the team's developed, you'll probably hear me harping on this quite a bit, is you don't really need 4 rerolls, right? I understand you have leap on all of your players. You don't really need to be using it. Like, 3 rerolls is probably plenty, especially now that you have blodge, sure hands, block, wrestle. You've severely limited the amount of failed blocks that you'd be burning rerolls on, so you'd really only be doing it for ball handling, which you have a built-in sure hands player to do. You can try to use them on the bear. Loner is a pain, but that is what it is. 7 fan factor is pretty nice. So he's done fairly well in the first round. So good luck, Sancho. Feudal effort, the Bretts. He's got some injuries. So dodge blitzer, dodge tackle blitzer, unskilled blitzer, dodge tackle blitzer. Niggled dodge tackle blitzer. Oof. Strength down on a lineman with... Oh, that poor peasant. He doubled for guard and got a strength down. That's going to be a hard call. And a miss next. So, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's got 12 players. He's probably going to have to cycle this double guy, which is no bueno. But he's a little bit lacking in the levels. So, like, the blitzers have hogged the SPP, as you can see, which they tend to do on this specific team. I'm not sure if he had a blocker and he died, but one blocker, so wrestle and guard are kind of, they don't do you a lot of good. If you're using wrestle, your guard assist for the rest of the team isn't going to be happening. So if he's getting blocked down and pushed out of position, he's going to go down, right? That's just pretty much how it's going to go. That being said, I like the dirty player on Brett's. They're very defensive oriented, so defensive fouls and isolating and fouling players out is a good game plan. And it's just the rest of the team's kind of lagging behind. And it's going to make it a little tough for him going forward, but I'm glad you made the cut for round 2. A player named Gus, Lando the Gambler. He has a very different build to his Norse team than I do. As you can see, dodge, 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 dodge. Lots of dodge. He's sitting on 12 players. The dirty player, I believe, is just misnexted. No, he's niggled. That's rough, but if he's getting hit, he's probably getting removed, as Mighty Blow is pretty prevalent now. Might consider cycling. You have a couple players that if the MVP lands on, you can replace. You have 100k. I mean, you could even go to a 14 deep bench and keep him if you wanted to keep your dirty player until someone else skilled. There's a few ways to go. The thing that really sticks out to me right here. So you have your strength pieces, right? You only have one strength skill on one berserker. And your Ulfs are very far behind. Guard is great. It's good. It helps the team out overall, and I think it's definitely necessary on both Ulfs to pick it up at some point. I don't know if I would have taken it as a first skill. And them only having one skill this late in the season is really going to limit you. There's going to be a lot of failed blocks with them, just speaking from experience. I believe Cord also spent something like 4 or 5 separate team rerolls across 2 games just on his Ulfs, not even counting ball handling skills. I might, yeah. So that's the Ulfs are really jumping out to me. And a team that wins by attrition typically needs to get in the face and get the damage done. So one Mighty Blow piece, I don't agree is gonna do a whole lot. I like the skill there. I like the double. I might have ignored it on these 2 guys, but with that being said, Lando and I have both play very different styles of the teams that we both do play. See his Wood Elves versus my Wood Elves. See his Norse versus my Norse. I'm really interested to see if the dodgy Norse variant kind of plays out, or if they're just kind of like less good Amazons. I'm really watching what Lando's doing and seeing how he's playing these games, and I think he puts an interesting spin on it. And I wish him good luck in the future. The only other thing I would pick with here at Lando is taking dodge first on a runner. Picking up sure hands on your runner this late is probably necessary. Strip ball hasn't been as prevalent as I've seen, but it does save you that reroll, right? And as we've already discussed, both Ulfs are going to chew those rerolls. So you're in kind of a pain point with 3. Them being 120k is a 2 replacement players. It's a level blitzer. Our berserker, that's a lot to be spending this late. So I think staying at 3 is right, but you gotta kind of focus the handoffs on these Ulfs, which will also cost you rerolls, man. Just this late in the game, the underdeveloped Ulfs are really gonna hold you back. I wish you good luck in the future. I love the team theme, by the way. And yeah, I'm really interested to see how you make this team work. So good luck, Lando. And we come to our final team. Scambammer and the Fan Factor of Knives with his stabby Dark Elves. So, we are really low on TV. Alright, we're at 1170. He has 2 rerolls, which I believe he started with to grab the Assassins and a Blitzer or 2. I apologize. I don't. Scambammer is one of those wonderful coaches that has tons of non-standard builds that he loves to play around with, and they're always the most interesting thing. And seeing no Blitzers on a Dark Elf team either makes me think they died, which I think they did, as he's sitting at 2 rerolls, or the Assassins have been cycled a couple times and he wanted to keep up the stabs. The Runner with Blodge is great. The AG5 Lineman with Dodge is great. As you can see, he's chewing up most of the TV on the team at 130. A Lineman with Blodge at 110k is kind of weird for me, but they are elves. That being said, he's sitting at 10 players. So I think he suffered a fair bit of attrition now that we're talking this out. The team's really underdeveloped, so he'll be chewing up a lot of inducements off of his opponents, especially some of the ones closer to 1600 TV. You're looking at almost a full 400 or 500 in inducements, so he can pretty much pick up anything he wants to make life a little bit of a nightmare and kind of tailor what the game plan is going forward. Team's a little underleveraged, Scam. I'd love to see the non-standard builds you pull off, and they are really great. I'm glad you made round 2, and I really am looking forward to seeing what you do with this team later on. Good luck, man. Good luck. I believe they're only on match day 1, as this is a fresh run. There might be a couple games played. So we have RK that won out. Scambammer won out. That's great. And Werecaster and the Dwarfs both lost. So that's a little bit weird for me. Probably the Orcs got some attrition going. Yeah, so the Orcs and the Dwarves kind of bashed each other. It looks like the Orcs gave the Dwarfs their pain points, came out to 0-2 in favor of the Orcs. And Scambammer 2-0'd the Khemri. That might have just been a game where the Khemri are unable to pick up the ball. That AG2 all over is rough. Well, with that being said, we take a look at our teams. We've run through, and I think the Nurgle division's in a pretty good spot for some very interesting games. I'd be very curious to see if some of these lower guys, lower team value guys, are able to displace some of these powerhouses from the previous round. Sancho, Werecaster, you know. Well, that being said, good luck, everybody. And remember, pandas never lose. We only win less.
Good coverage, Panda. Appreciate it. Can't wait to see who comes out on top of Nurgle division. Alright, so we've switched some things around, and we moved up the Hooligan division. The Horned Rat division, don't get confused, is up next. Yes, Horned Rat division. That's don't make any minor Chaos Gods mad at you. Alright. Yeah, here we go.
Alright lads, let's go and take a look who made it to the Hooligan Division this year. As you can see, 6 teams, and it looks like it's going to be a promising wee bit of a scrum. Let's review the teams and see what kind of a mess we've got this year.
After all is said and done, you've never walked, you've never run, you're a winner.
Alright, no surprise, but it seems to be they've been waiting to come into this division to show just how good they really are. You got it, he owns this, is his house. Maximum overdrive difference, also as you can see, full complement they have developed, and boy have they been developing nicely here. Big high TV, but it's what you expect when you're sitting on 6 bloody ogres, and look at the skill set. 2 with block, 1's even got the AG up in here, he's got the traditional break tackle, he's even got piling on a couple of here, bit of guard and of course stand firm. This is the sweetheart of the entire team, Mini Cooper, look at that, block on his snotling. So yes, he risks it all when he goes in for crazy case dives and can get away with it, and also bloody hard to knock down, isn't he? 2 rerolls, both again, fan factor, what more can we say? Let's ask the fans, yeah, the excitement is palatable, this is going to be a thrilling season. Alright, let's see, team number 2. Alright, next one up, of course, is now, yes, you see it, that's right, it's the Norse team has come blundering in, the North Star Raiders. They had one hell of a crazy season here, so the fact that they've actually managed to stagger in and saying something, look at the compliment. This has been a huge effort to get it back up to a full 11 roster. But, that all said, they have worked their bloody hearts off to get here. Take a look what he's got here. He's got the one lineman here is now having to do the dirty all over again here. He's got berserkers who are now working tooth and nail to get clawing back. You can tell one of them died along the way. He's got, of course, the Ulfers. Yes, of course, they've been doing their job, but they've been having a rough time of it too. The one runner, this guy has been doing everything here. A new one's come back in here, and he's surging forward here. The lineman is starting his skills. 3 rerolls, Pothgetty, 6 fan factor here. It's a decent TV. How'd they end up here? It's like I say, they've had a hell of a road getting here. They've been dying left and right and centre. And basically, what is the supporters got to say? Yeah, well done. You made it at last. But you know what? Good on you. Absolutely good on you. Okay, team number 3. Oh my lord, what happened to this team? Mary Mac, you're annoying it. As you can see, these are the survivors. That's what's left of the team. 7 players. Absolutely crazy. But let's take a look at the survivors here. What a fight they had, but there. It's the Hooligan Division lad. So, what has survived? What has he got here? Talented Blitzer number 2, Morgan, and you have a run. This is the catcher that has to pull every miracle is to try and keep this team in contention here. He's got the young spry one here trying to build up. Another one he's gotten apparently pounded up here. What's left of the lineman core, 1 survivor. He learned how to survive. He learned to wrestle. Only 2 rerolls. Well, it's because he's been spending all the money replacing the team. 40 fan factor. But the year, remember, last year, Hooligan Division, a team went on, completely crippled, staggered in, and then pulled bloody miracles right down to the final. Pretty much went on to win damn things, didn't they? So, that's the best answer for the supporters. Just brush it off, shrug it off, move on in, you can do it, lad. Okay, who's next? Well, what can I say? Yeah, it is the Aveling team that blundered in the Hooligan division. And I'll be blowing you. I got no fucking idea how to run this team. No, seriously, I've never run an Aveling team in my life, so this is a new experience, and of course I'm running it completely wrong. So let's go take a look what's going on here. Yeah, everything's wrong about this team by a huge shot here. They've got the 2 eligible slots there for the usual recruitment star players. They've got 2 useless trees. No, seriously, they've had 2 useless trees. Biggest key of why this team keeps failing. The trees aren't working. Here we go, 11 games in, 1 has skilled up. That tells you something impressive how bad the team's gone. And then look at the crazy skills. Sneaky kid. Dirty player. Go figure. Now, mind you, they've got 1 who's actually learnt something. He's actually strength up. Well, look what his name is. No big surprise there. 2 catches for the game. And, of course, there is 1 diving tackle. But otherwise, that's it. The team's got bloody nothing there. 3 rerolls. The only thing it has that's spectacular here is the Nuffles Altis. So that means, yeah, now and then they actually get, free enhancements. Or at least in the case here that they, go and get a better player occasionally. But that hasn't happened most of the time. They've been bad luck all the way. Can the team actually do anything? I've got no bloody idea. Like I said, I'm still learning it. What the supporters got to say? Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. We'll absolutely go with that. Absolutely useless team. Anyway, let's see who's up next.
Don't you wanna be ruthless and rotten and mad? Don't you wanna be very, very good at being bad?
Yeah, here they are. This is the Dark Elf team that took considerable punishment trying to stay alive. Started off promising, then things became, well, painful. That's a great way to describe it. And there you see this, the survivors. 9 players, and even looking at the roster, he's still recovering from the last match. Look at this. Crippled Witch Elf. This Witch Elf had been doing miles and miles of effort, but then look what's happened. Even an armor decrease, he can't replace it. There's just not enough money in the kitty there. 3 rerolls, 5 fan factor, let's face it, a useless apothecary, or an overworked apothecary. Depends how you look at it here. He's got the blitzers, but look at this. Even the blitzers have taken hammering, and he's having fun trying to keep them alive and skilling them up. He's had to start all over again. He's got 1 lineman who's learned something, but of course he's eaten a niggle here for his efforts. It's just one hell of a trip this team's taken, but here they are. They're in the Hooligan division. This is where you've got your chance, and especially your Dark Elves. So just run with the football there, lad. The supporters are behind you, because it can be done. The last time a really crippled team showed up in this division, they were an elf team of all things, and look what they did. Alright, who's left? Bloody hell, yes, you made it, lad. But boy, oh boy, talk about limping in. Congratulations there, lad. You've now discovered what both myself and Lando discovered about Kislev. It's an art form, isn't it? And it's a tough team to play. They're the survivors. Well, it wouldn't be Hooligan division unless you had survivors. Bloody hell, let's take a look what's left of the lads here. It's been a hell of a fight, isn't it? Let's take a look. He's got the bear, and the bear hasn't done much, but as I understand it, late addition, because he needed him. He started realizing what was going on, and unfortunately he had to change his design and start going with a completely different setup here. He's got 2 catches, and suddenly the catches have had to stop doing everything, and they're doing a great job. That's how he got here. Barely, but he got here. This is where the problems have really started here. As you can see, where the blitzes, well, he had them, but they're gone now, lads. It's been that cruel of a season. And you can even see he's taking a niggle over here, but they've learned block because it's a Kislev team. The linemen, in the end, become the blitzers, and the blitzers are basically defensive. Meanwhile, great roll here, but unfortunately, this is what killed his blitzers. Constantly, he's been getting AG down rolls. He's down to 3 fan factor, 3 team rolls. But you're in the Hooligan division, lad. This is it. This is where you get your final match to show what you've learned of how Kislev can possibly work. So it's going to be definitely entertaining. We are going to enjoy watching you. Learn, and definitely learn. Alright, pleasure to see you here, lad. Let's sum it all up. So yeah, there you have it. There are your 6 teams that have made it all the way. You carried it out, you're here. It's Hooligan Edition time. Second chances do exist. Grab it, seize it, and because you stuck it out, we all salute you. Nuffle. Bless your dice.
I just want to clarify that I didn't mean to call any Chaos Gods minor. Yes. And yes, I will have a proper Horned Rat intro. Yeah, I'm sure there's already one made. Yeah. Anyway, great coverage, Discom. You did an excellent job in the not minor Chaos God Horned Rat division. Alright, so let's go on now to Scar and the Zinch. Zinch. Not T-Zinch. Not T-He Zinch. Not Larry. The Zinch division.
All aboard to the great deceiver.
I feel like I got run over by a death roller. Hello, coaches. This is Scar, your resident Dark Knight of the Void. And if you couldn't already tell, I'm not 100% today. But it's the first day of the second round, and you know I can't miss that. Despite how much Korn wants me to. So, we're going to go over the new teams that we're clearly going to be laughing at. And then we will see the first day's matches and their results. This should be fun, so let's get started. Starting off at the top, we have Nero's Elite, a vampire team coached by Fenhale, with the motto, "We serve at her pleasure." I don't know a lot about vampire teams, but I do know they like to destroy themselves, so this should be interesting. And it looks like we have a very well-developed team. All the vampires have block, one has tackle, we got the kill piece with Mighty Blow Pylon, a blodger, two blodgers, and a ball carrier. As for the thralls, well, you got a 4 agility thrall, that's pretty damn good. Up next, we have a familiar face, the Pillow Fighting Underdogs, a dwarf team supposedly coached by Minimo1, with the motto, "No one makes us bleed our own blood, dodge this." Trust me, they don't need to dodge. As for development, it seems fairly standard. A lot of guard, a lot of mighty blow. The only difference is a blodge runner and a 4 agility runner. Now, if only they could actually hurt something, that would be surprising. Up next, we have another familiar face, the Bouncin' Bulls, a Kislev team coached by Placebo, with the motto, "We love cozy fur, hashtag do not touch." Oh, this is always fun. And it looks like they got really lucky with the agility ups, with 2 characters, 1 lineman and 1 blitzer with 4 agility, a wrestler, tackler, and a ball carrier with dodge. Very, very nice. They even got the bear to learn how to guard. So, I expect a lot of goals from this team. Up next, it's another familiar face, Kodars Ain't My Real Dad, a Norse team coached by Angry Panda 86, with the motto, "Cadet is my mom though." Let's see if they could actually be useful this round. When it comes to development, it seems relatively standard. We got dodge on the runner, the berserkers are becoming kill pieces, and we even got 2 guards, one on the Ulfrinder and another on the Yeti. With another Ulfrinder having Blodge of all things. Everyone else, we got kick and tackle. It's okay, I guess. Now, if only they could hit things. Up next, and this is different, we have Where'd I Leave My Luggage, a Lizardman team coached by Ace Pilot 666, with the motto, They Lost It Again. Oh, I wonder how many handbags will be available at the end of this round. As for development, it seems like a fairly scary team, despite the fact that their big guy has gotten a -2 movement allowance. He does have guard and break tackle. Everything else seems pretty standard. All the sources with block and skinks with a few abilities like sidestep and sneaky get and jump up. Nothing too extraordinary. Next up, we have the Sin City Chargers, an orc team coached by Good Time, with the motto High Voltage, Thunderstruck, TNT. That is so energizing, I might actually feel hyped for this team. But when it comes to their development, I don't really see much in the way of different. We have a lot of guard, a lot of block. Their thrower has accurate, which is interesting. And they have a blitzer with sidestep, which should be terrifying, but I'm wondering why he didn't take dodge. Other than that, nothing too exciting. Next up, we have my favorite team, despite how flawed they are. The Lords of Action, a Bretonnian team coached by Eric's, with the motto, Action. It's what we do. What? Just action? As for development, holy shit. We have 3 blitzers with 4 agility and 2 with 4 strength. That is already a nightmare. They have had to delay on their blodge ability though. That may come back to bite them. I also don't see any ball hog on their blockers, but I guess you can get away with that. And finally, we actually have another vampire team. It's Panda Loves the Zinch, coached by Cadet Tank, with the motto, Today Zinch equals Larry. And it doesn't look like this team is nearly as developed as the other one. We do have a 5 agility vampire with Mighty Blow, another vampire with block, and it looks like a ball hog with wrestle tackle. We also have a useful thrall for once with an extra agility and block, and we have a dirty player, but other than that, it's just a whole bunch of injuries. Quickly going over the games, we have Neris Elite beating Bouncin 2-0. No deaths though, so at least it's an okay start. Up next, we have the softball underdogs beating Panda Loves the Zinch 2-1. And even managing to kill one of the thralls. But I am still not convinced it was the dwarves and not one of the vampires. Up next, we have a 1-1 tie between the Lords of Action and Real Dad. Well, at least you got me good kill footage. And finishing up with the Sin City Chargers absolutely destroying Where'd I Leave My Luggage 3-0. You really don't see this very often from orcs. Well, this is already shaping up to be a very interesting round. If I'd have to guess, I would say that Nira and the Lords of Action were going to be near the top. But I've learned my lesson from last round and not really putting any bets down. We'll have to wait and see how this goes. But until then, remember, win or lose, the void always gets its revenge. Back to you, Cadet. I'm going to bed.
Good coverage, Scar. I especially liked that you actually said my team's name. There was another broadcaster that just couldn't quite get my team's name right, and you said it. And since you actually look at my motto, I might change it. Sorry, didn't mean to make that all about me. And he said the division's name right. I am more stoked about that. Anyway, let me not go on. Let's go over to the corn division with, I think, not Ace.
They say there is honor in battle. They are fools. We fight for the Emperor, but the blood we spill serves another. More Lord of Death, keep our souls lest they fall prey to him.
Right then, I get to do this division then, do I? Okay, I'll take a wee bit of a gander. Alright, here you are, round 2, Corn Division in BBPN's inaugural first season here. So let's go take a look. 8 teams did advance in this division here, so we're just going to take it down and dirty and take a gander. First one up here, let's take a look at the Precious Goblins. Dark Souls Prepare to Die. Superfed is having quite a bit of a run with this team. But he's probably discovering, yeah, tier 3 teams, you live and die by the average dice. And when they don't happen, well, life gets miserable. Alright, let's take a look here. The club, of course, has finally gotten up to level 2. He's bought the Nuffle Altar, so that is excellent. Of course, he's supported by Goblin Gambling. Let's take a look at what the team roster is. You can see, solid 3 rerolls. In Apothecary, this is to keep the useful players alive. 5 fan factor, not bad. Of course, you realise as a Goblin team, you like lots of that, and he's going to be finding that out the hard way. Meanwhile, let's look at the team here. 2 trolls, both have gotten gods, so that means they've been producing. He's now got Bright Tackle. Of course, the irony is Bright Tackle is really stupid. It's a trade-off how useful it really is. But he's probably using it for his own personal playstyle. Chainsaw, no skills, not surprising. It is very rare this gets skills. If it ever does, you pray for the bloody double. And meanwhile, the Pogra, well, notice something? It's a brand new one. Something awful has happened to the previous one. This is a problem, because you really at this point need him to have picked up a few skills. Now, he's got the one good one here, the Blodger. This one's now become just give the ball, run. Just give him the ball, run. He's also your ultimate cage diver. 2 sidestep, excellent choice of skills. He's ended up, both his diving tackles are out for a while, but he's finding, yep, diving tackles, lots and lots and lots here. And of course, he's got a Bombardier, and he's been finding out probably how, well, he has to get creative how he uses it. It's been wonderful to see. Predictions, again, he's going to live and die if he gets average dice. Of course, having the low TV, it's going to come in pretty handy. Let's look at team number 2 here. Yeah, the team that came off with a horrible start, but then it finally found its trinket. Judgment Time, hey. Chaos, once it finally learns how to hit things, it's a beautiful thing. Let's take a look here. He's back up to the 4 Chaos Warriors. You can see 2 mighty blows, and he's getting the block there. So they are starting to produce. Meanwhile, he's got the designated, Pestigore, Beastagore, Hugagore, Gropagore. Yeah, we'll call it that. It's a Groptagore. And he's got, of course, the extra arms. So there's the ball handler. It's a great, great design here. And, of course, it's got block to stand up. He's gotten one with dodge to run around. And, of course, he's got one more here. Now, of course, he has grabbed the Minotaur. Long-term development prediction here. Once he gets going, he's going to build at least one Kilgore, as they call it. It's going to be one designated blocking piece. Though, as I said, his goal so far is to build the team and get going. He doesn't have a massive goal in front other than just qualify and get to the playoffs. Meanwhile, let's take a look here. Old World Rulers. Bit of a surprise, this lad here, but he's showing, he knows the business here. Kemri, always a tricky team to play, but look how well he has actually started building this team here. Let's take a look at some of the spectacular skills. One of the Tomb Guardians, of course, has become the ultimate hog when it comes to skills. Problem is, it's getting all the skills. The rest of them, well, someday. You can see he's slowly working on it, but it's just the way it's happened. Once this one got the block, it starts killing everything. And of course, it gives it mighty blow, and it's just going to keep on killing everything. Expect great things from this player. And then, of course, look at this. Thrower, with just about every skill added in, and the biggest thing, an AG increase. Spectacular. And it's a blodger to boot. Yeah, he just gets it the ball and just escorts it down the field. This is the plan. But now and then, there's a surprise or two inside. You'd be surprised. I know it's not a beaten art. Don't know where he got that from anyway. Probably some, poor victim. And also here, the Blitzerer has been building up. This is the attack piece to stop anything getting through. He's got the one, cheeky, dirty player. We don't know what he's going to do with this skill up here he's got in reserve here. One block here, and of course the backup thrower. 3 rerolls. Decent fan factor. It's a good TV. I expect some high things out of this team. Let's go along here. Oh, look, it's the successful Halfling team that had a slightly luckier run. Lower TV, but let's take a look at only the 2 rerolls. Basically, he figures everyone else is giving them to him. Massive fan factor. This is the big difference here. Both trees have been performing. As you can see, God, and of course, he's even got the grab. Great skill with the trees, because it can really mess up your opponent. And look at the crazy skills he keeps mixing up in here. This one, bit of a surprise, goes to Sure Fate. He likes going for it. The rest of them here for sprint. He loves his mobility, movement increase. That is the style of this team. Hustle, 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 and that's all it's about. Does it produce? Well, it's here, isn't it? We'll see how he does. Coming up next, Suicidal Squad. You've been having fun with this one, haven't you? Underworld. Underworld is one of those great quality teams that all kinds of crazy stuff can happen depending on the mutation rolls. And if you can somehow weather your way through Animosity, because Animosity is going to run you up like you wouldn't believe. Let's take a look at technicals on the troll. This is actually a really good bot skill here. Most people like going other ways. No, this is his plan. He's using the troll for control, because if he trusts it to actually do something competent, of course it's going to fail him. Of course, the 2 Skaven Blitzers are doing a great job. One with tackle, one with Monty Blow. Expect a mutation of a claw later on, or anything else depending on the skill roll. The Skaven Thrower here, notice the skill he bought. Mutation, extra arms. Boy, he does the business, because he hustles the ball up really fast. Meanwhile, this is a nasty skill to put on an Underworld Goblin. Big hands. He doesn't care how many tackle zones are on that ball. He's going to duck through on the stunty and go get the fucking ball. 2 hands, 2 heads, everything in a bag of crisps. This is what you do. This is where the amazement is for Underworld. The ease of mutations for Goblins. You can do miracles with this team. As for the Skaven, they're fantastic backup. I expect them to do all kinds of things. He might have another sneaky mutation trick up his sleeve. 3 rerolls. Both get a low fan factor, but he has a low TV in this division. That might be a bit of an advantage later on. Meanwhile, in living colour, that's living. Really? You must be from the Bronx anyway. Let's take a look here. They have been shambling along. Very nice. Now, the mummy here has eaten a bit of damage here. Yes, as you can see, it took the niggler. So anytime you do get through him, he's cringing because this lad, who has the guard, has the break tackle, is going to give him all kinds of problems. So he has to do something early in the game before someone really concentrates its firepower. Then, of course, there's the extra guard, kind of totally on the mummies. And then, meanwhile, take a look at the whites here. Yes, you're noticing something. They haven't leveled up much. Only one's actually got the tackle. Meanwhile, the ghoul, blodge, sidestep, very tricky little lad to get. And then you're looking at, he's got the second blodge. The zombies are the big mystery of this team. They really are. Take a look at it. 2 dirty players. He's even got the kick. decent fan factor of all things is 7, of course, 3 rerolls. This makes him the wild card of the division. Well, I always expect that. You never know what's going to show up that day. Alright, nighttime fun time. The Doctor of Pain has a prescription for you, and the prescription is you're all going to die today. Now, let's take a look at how brilliantly he has once again built a team out of absolutely a shambles. Take a look at this. Yeah, incredible here. The zombies, they don't just have one, they have 2 skills. Now, this is a weird bloat problem, but I don't think in his hands he really cares. Because he's looking at, look, these guys stay on the field, and he's decided, his thinking is it changes up his strategy depending what happens. He doesn't fixate on one strategy, he does multiple strategies. And it can do all kinds of crazy things. Yes, I know, it's a bit confusing, but, stick with me here. The reasoning is he can have a stand-up fight, or he can get down and dirty, depending on the situation. Meanwhile, look what he's got here. He's got the Smash Kill Werewolf here. This mangy mutt does everything. And here's the new one here. Well, as you saw on the broadcast, spectacular death, and there was much rejoicing. The ghouls, they do what they need to do, pick up the ball and move. Then he's got the other one who's the wrestler, just in case he has to go pursue something. The whites are stunning. They can do everything that is needed of this team, and he has gotten the one good solid block on the Flesh Golem. 3 rerolls, a high fan factor. He is considered one of the fan favourites to advance out of this division. And finally, the big transition, the fall of that thing with no name. The Wood Elves have advanced in here. Let's take a look. Yeah, 1 reroll, you saw that right. He lives and dies by AG4. It is amazing. Apothecary, 5 fan factor. One of the Wall Dancers is out for a day. Well, that's good to see. But the other ones are just incredible. He's gotten the treatment late, apparently, but it's starting to already do its job. The other Wall Dancer will produce tackle, strip, ball. There's no ball safe from this one as long as the risk is the business. And then, of course, there's the trick. He's got the phenomenal catcher here, not just with the blodge, sidestep, guard. And just look at it. He's been stacking up even more and more skills. He's a very difficult team to stop. And that's half the fun, isn't it? But don't you love trying? So, let's take a look what we are potentially going to have coming up here. As you can see, 1 game's already been played here, and Living Colour has managed to get the first one here. The Goblins, see, it's live and die by any kind of dice that can pop up. Average dice if you're tier 3. Prediction here, you never know. Fulham Nats might give a surprise. If he can catch them, he can kill them. At least he hopes so, anyway. Suicide Squad, Judgment Time. This is the team that's starting to get its move on. It's doing well. You never know with these ones. This one's a throw up there. So, predictions, everything else, it's gonna be a fun division. We are looking forward to how this actually goes. Good luck, gentlemen, and hopefully ace the face. We'll be fine and recovered from that last little bout with the double hookers. Nuffle, bless your dice.
Thank you, Discum, for covering the corn division for us. We couldn't do this without you. All right, that's it for BBPN. Come back next week to see what's going on. I wouldn't be shocked if the Cinch division wasn't over with by then. If you don't play it, then you probably don't know that we are moving lightning fast in that division. Anyway, that is it. This is Cadet saying, sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but never bet against me. But you can bet on Thralls dying. That's becoming a pretty common occurrence.